Hello everyone, welcome to another very quick reading about the solar eclipse and the solstice of this upcoming weekend. I hope you're fantastic. And yeah, yesterday morning I got I was asking the question, what do we need to know? And sometimes I just ask the question and just let it kind of simmer there and then see when or how is it going to arrive. And like is the case, I think, for everyone. I was just doing something completely unrelated. And then I just got this image in my head that was really related to me, but I had really this very clear sensation that it was related also to everyone of us because of my question. And the image was something like as if an extra self, like another aspect of myself, was really taking off and away from me, and that was like unfolding into a myriad of selves with different. It's almost like each one had like a flag or some sort of sign that will kind of define them. And I mean, that's the image, but what is important is what was the feeling about it, and the message was more like we are really getting over the identities that we have been hold on for so long. And if you look at what's happening in the world also related to slavery, for instance, or racism and races, no? So you have a nationality, we identified with a nationality, with a race, with a religion, with the status, social status, with the profession that we do, with the job that we do. And so these are all identities, and it's as if in this solstice solstice and eclipse, we are having also, because the eclipse is also the eclipsing of some identities related to probably the male part in this case, because it's the sun. So it's something that is getting obscured. And in this case, anyway, the image and the idea that came to me, it was that what is going on, what is happening for many of us, especially if you are looking for that, looking to be who you really are and trying to embody more of who you really are, more of this divine self, then these identities, these false identities that we have been holding on to for a long time are being dissolved. We have this opportunity to dissolve them. And then I took some cards. As always, it's more or less the same. They have certain positions, and each position means something. And I will explain that to you if it's the first time you see this video. So the first one is the position where I ask for the general energy, or what is the flavor of this event, this cosmic and astrological and astronomic event. So we have the Kaph. So Kaph is a letter that is telling us, is reminding us that there's also a resurrection after we have kind of been given away something, some identities, some of our older selves. There's some resurrection. And it's also a way that we can transform or transmute some rage and some anger, some frustration. And I think that's very easy to kind of like realize where or what is going on now, because we see the emergence of all these emotions, frustration, and all this anger also being shown in the world in the way we've been treating each other, right? Whatever side you are into, I think it's not necessary to pick a side, but we can realize that we have been playing with this idea of racism. We've been still living with that consciousness of separation, because basically that's what it is. And Kaph is always in all what the Kabbalah and and the Hebrew letters are teaching us, and I think many of the spiritual practices, what we are aiming to is to really go for a conscious of unity. Anyway, Kaph brings us that. Kaph brings us the capacity, the courage, the impulse, the force to actually let go of those identities, let go of the false identities. That is not who we really are. And yeah, on the other hand, it also represents one of the archetypes of the Solomon seal, so of the Star of David also, which is sulfur, which is, and the other two are salt and mercury, and the third one is sulfur. And so it is also kind of this element that is transmuting because it is fire. It is also what the sun, or what we suppose the sun is made of, but is one of the representation of the energy of the fire. Then we move on to what is the advice? What can we do? What is that? What are the cards? I mean, the cards or the letters telling us about it, and about this opportunity. What is the opportunity that is before us in this event? And we have Sayin. Sayin is a very I would say kind of a magical card, in the sense that it is the sword of the white magic, and it means that it helps us to cut through the enslavement to anything that can be that we can feel that is enslaving us. It can be also just an idea that we have about us, about our self-worth. It can be just an idea that we have about who we are, and that's why we feel enslaved and we feel powerless, probably. So it is really a gift that we can have finally a way to cut through all these old inscriptions, of very antique inscriptions about who we are, what defines us, what enslaves us, and why we feel also disempowered. And the last card is actually a very nice one. And this is also the position of this card, is where what is this process bringing us? Probably is not something that the outcome is not something that we'll see probably in the next couple of weeks, but it's something that we might see in the next couple of months, even in a year, even in the long term. And it's Shamek. And Shamek, in the, let's say, the short version, is the nest of love. So if you see also the shape of that is really like something that can hold you, that holds a space for us to be and to feel protected, and to actually feel the love that we are surrounded by. It is actually, Shamek says, if you would be able to be conscious about how loved and protected you really are, all the fears about whatever, about the COVID-19, about being rejected because of who you are, about whatever, about the future, about the present, whatever fear will be just vanished in a second. So it is reminding us that the love that we came from, the love of creation, the love of the universe, the love of our divine filiation is there, is present all the time. Is just for us to tune in and to tap into that, and to remind ourselves that we are loved, that we are always protected. And so that's what this process is taking us. And if you think about it, it's quite obvious. When we take off all these old clothes, let's say, all these false identities, we strip down into who we really are. We take out, we cut off all these old inscriptions that were kind of like a damning, like a damning affirmation or negation, I think in this case, that separates us from who we really are, from this divine self. Then we can really stay with feeling the love that we came from and the love that we are as well. So I think that is really a fantastic message for this month. It's really a great opportunity for us then to strip down these identities. And maybe while I'm talking about this, they will just come to your mind and you will kind of realize what is it that is ready to let go. So I wish you a wonderful eclipse, a wonderful solstice, and I see you next time. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.